Hey everyone, before we get started, I want to tell you about a hosted redfish trip to Louisiana that I have coming up October 31st to November 4th, 2024. If you would like to go red fishing in Louisiana with me and 5 other people, I've hired 3 guides for 3 days and we're gonna do it. If you want to get details and pricing information, send me an email at info@hugeflyfisherman.com, or you can go to my website and email me through there. So send me an email and I will give you all the information you need to know about this huge redfish hosted trip. I hope you can make it. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a huge fly fisherman, and today we're going to talk about fly fishing guides. Guides are ambassadors of fly fishing as a whole. They're introducing beginners to the world of fly fishing, or they're tolerating people like me who think they know everything already. Fly fishing guides represent their local fishing community, which are not all the same. So today we're going to talk about some of the different types of fly fishing guides that you'll find in different parts of the United States, so that you'll know what to expect if you're booking a trip with a guide. Let's start off with Alaska. Lots of fishing guides in Alaska. Alaskan guides are the only fly fishing guides that you're expecting to be carrying a gun. Alaskan guides don't take their waders off ever, even to sleep. They wear hoodies all the time, except when it's raining, which is basically all the time. Your fly fishing guide in Alaska is probably not from Alaska, but they think it's the greatest place on earth, which I don't really get. There are lots of places that have mountains and glaciers, and I just don't understand the appeal of salmon fishing. Like, there's the salmon, it's right there, it's not swimming away. You can go have lunch, come back, it's right there. It's a salmon. Oh, there's 10,000 more of them in the same pool. Whatever. Alaska. Next one, we're gonna go southeast to Florida. No one else complains more about snowbirds or tourists coming into their town and bringing money, which the economy needs, more than Florida fly fishing guides. Do you guys not get it? You need the tourists to survive. That's how it works. Florida guides are low-hanging fruit though. I've picked on them a bunch of times and I'm gonna do it again right now. If you are a fly fishing guide in Florida, you are not an actual fly fishing guide. You know how I know? Because there's a spinning rod under your gunnel at all times. If you want to be a fly fishing guide, lose the crutch. Ain't no spin poles in my boat. Okay, next we'll do Montana. Similar to Alaska, your Montana fly fishing guide is not from Montana, but they constantly tell you how great it is. Even though they've never fished anything but the Madison and have never caught a fish on foot anywhere in Montana. Your Montana fly fishing guide has an outfitter's permit with 6 digits and gets sunburned in Belize every winter while reinforcing stereotypes about white Americans. All right, next we'll move on down to Texas. Texas should really be broken up into 2 categories. In one group, you've got the guys on the Guadalupe who really take stocked trout fishing seriously. Like, why though? They're just stupid stocked trout. Just go to southern Colorado like all the other Texans. The other group in Texas that we need to talk about is the saltwater fly fishing guides. These dudes think fly fishing for jacks is a new thing that they made up, and they do a great job of hiding the fact that the only way they can catch a bull redfish is in the ship channel with electronics and a 3-ounce jig fished 40 feet deep on the bottom. But technically it's on a fly rod, so neat. I think most Texas guides probably wish they were Louisiana fly fishing guides, which is who we're gonna talk about right now. If you are hiring a fly fishing guide in Louisiana between the months of November and February, you're hiring someone from Florida. And what's funny is that these carpetbaggers coming to Louisiana are the same guys complaining about out-of-staters coming to Florida. Listen, I know hypocrisy really well. That's hypocrisy. A real Louisiana fly fishing guide is gonna know all the best gumbo and fried chicken joints and has lost at least 1 lower unit off their outboard by hitting something underwater. Also, if you're hiring a fly fishing guide in Louisiana and they have a last name that's really easy to pronounce, keep looking and find another guide. Okay, next, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania fly fishing guides worship at the Church of Joe Humphreys. They're constantly reminding you that Euro nymphing has actually been around for a long time, and it's called tightline nymphing. Also, they say wooder instead of water. Yins know what I'm talking about. Next one, we'll talk about Colorado fly fishing guides. 2 words, weed and zins. A Colorado fly fishing guide is also gonna have a certificate from guide school with ink that's still wet, and they think that Silverthorne is a real mountain town. Their Instagram feed has a bunch of clients holding really big fish, but nowhere does it say that all of those fish came from a private ranch. All right, now let's do Wyoming. If you're a fly fishing guide in Wyoming, I want you to know one thing. Wearing a cowboy hat does not make you a cowboy. Also, try fishing something besides a chubby and a turd. And I want to be clear here, Southeast Wyoming should really be in its own category or just annexed by Colorado. If you're at a fly shop in Yellowstone country, don't tell anyone that you guide at Gray Reef, unless you want to make people laugh. All right, next we'll talk about fly fishing guides in Tennessee. There are a lot more fly fishing guides in Tennessee than you might realize, and I can't take any of them seriously. I know they know their stuff, but there's just something about a guy with a southern accent talking about trout fishing that short circuits my brain. You guys should all be smallmouth fishing instead of playing bumper boats on the Soho. Moving on, let's talk about fly fishing guides in Arkansas. The guides over in Arkansas all have these boats called White River John boats, which are pretty cool, and they also think that they invented streamer fishing. Arkansas has a ton of great fly fishing guides that can put you on fish in all kinds of different conditions. Or you could be stuck with Brian Glass making laps under a fish feeder. Neat! Okay, for the next couple stereotypes, we're gonna get away from regions and talk about specific species. Let's start with steelhead. And I'm talking PNW here, real steelhead. These guys are gonna have a Pavati boat and tons of excuses as to why you are not catching a steelhead. If you're looking for good rain gear, check out what these guys are wearing. Next, let's talk about musky guides. Like steelhead guides, they're gonna make up all kinds of reasons for why you're getting skunked. The best part though is all the mystical wizardry stuff that they just make up. Majors and minors, get out of here. You gotta respect the dedication though. Musky guides will be like, I saw a fish by this log 15 years ago, and they still think they're gonna see a fish there every time they go out. I guess that's more optimism than dedication. Whatever, you guys are crazy. All right, that's gonna do it for this episode of Huge Fly Fisherman. I hope you learned a little bit about the different types of guides that you will find around the country. Thank you as always for watching another one of my Huge Fly Fisherman videos. I'll be back as soon as I can with another video about fly fishing for you. Until then, book a fly fishing guide and stay huge. I can see the comments now. You forgot about North Dakota. Well, what about Iowa? Every time.